guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new entitled people content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled "Lady Wants Me to Move a Random Person's Stuff Off the Beach." I work as a swim instructor on a very busy beach, and our office is based in a little surf shack on the edge of the beach. The beach is really popular, and if you don't get there before about 10 in the morning most days you can forget about getting a decent spot for your stuff. So it was a little before 3 in the afternoon, when a random woman came up to the surf shack, and it looked like she was yelling, but I was a little down the beach, as I was wrapping up a class, so I couldn't hear her. I saw her and hurried over after all the students from the 2 o'clock class were safe on the beach. I instructed the class to start bringing their boards up to the shack so I could put them away. Me. Hi. My name is Op. I'm one of the instructors here. How can I help you? Lady. Finally. I've been waiting forever. I literally saw her arrive less than 20 seconds ago. Me. Customer service mode activated. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. I was wrapping up a class and I'm the only one on duty right now. Lady. I don't need the details, are you helping me or not? Me. Do you want to sign up for surfing lessons? Lady. No. Me. Do you want to rent some equipment? Lady. No. Me. So what can I do for you? Lady. Help me deal with this crap. She gestures to a few towels with a windbreaker, buckets and spades, a couple of bottles of drink, a board bag, everything you would need for a family day out at the beach. I'd seen the family it belonged to earlier, briefly. Parents in their mid-30s, and a couple of kids who didn't look older than 10. Me. You want me to? Lady. Help me move it. Me. Where? Lady. In there, points to the surf shack, where the students are currently dumping their boards. Me. I think there's been a misunderstanding here, this is a school, not a storage unit. Lady. Stop asking questions and just help me move it. She turns towards the stuff, and I realize she is 1, early 20s and not the mother nor the daughter of this family, and 2, carrying her own beach stuff. Me. Do you know this family? Lady. Why would I? Me. Because you want me to move their stuff. Either you know them or you're moving a stranger's stuff off the beach. Lady. Can you just shut up and do your job? You're getting paid to help people, not ask questions. Me. I'm getting paid to teach surfing, not move people's stuff. Lady. Well, what am I meant to do? All the good spots are taken. Me. Look for another spot. She stomps off after this, and I thought it was over, so I go inside to help the students with their boards, but then maybe 5 minutes later I head back towards the door and there's a pile of beach stuff right outside the door. I look over and sure enough the lady from earlier is lying on a beach towel in the exact same spot she'd indicated, with the family's possessions bundled up and left for me to look after. I didn't really see what else I could do after that. I had to stay in the surf shack and keep an eye on the current class while waiting for the other one to arrive, as I was the only person on duty. Plus, now it was on the premises, I figured it probably came under the surf shack's rule of us taking responsibility for lost or stolen items, and I didn't want anything to get nicked. I yelled to the lady but she was almost definitely pretending she couldn't hear me. The family came back a little while later, 10 or so minutes, asking why some random woman in their spot was saying I had their stuff, and I gave it to them and explained. They looked more confused than angry, but I saw the dad go over to the lady and they exchanged what looked like some less than friendly dialogue while the mum thanked me for at least making sure their stuff didn't get stolen, and she and the kids set off further up the beach. The next story is titled "Pulling Your Phone Out When You're Working is Against Company Policy." Lady. I'm 14. A bit of context. This was back in January of this year. I had just turned 14. The funny thing is my birthday is on January 1st Street. The amount of people with my birthday. You could probably count them on your hands. I think at this point I was 5 feet 11 with a visible beard. I had people mistake me most of the time for a 16 or 17-year-old. Now my birthday had just passed, my parents are not the best with presents so they just gave me money. So I went on the weekend to chill with my friend. It was like 12 p.m. we went out to eat, and my friend started talking about how he wished he could get a PC. Now me and him are close, I go to his house most days of the week. 3 to 4 times. Sometimes I stay over, we're basically brothers. I call his parents auntie and uncle. Same with him. He comes to my house, stays. We even have rooms in each other's houses. Now, he was born 4 days after me. I really wanted to get him something really nice. So he said, let's go chill at my house. So I call an Uber, not to his house. It was to PC World. We get halfway there and he clocks what is happening. He says this isn't the way to my house. I assure him that we are going to do something very fun. Then he sees PC World and he asks why are we here. I tell him it's an early birthday present. I had to give it to him early as I couldn't go on a school day. So I tell him get anything you want. He goes mad, he tries to reject, but we all know how that turns out. So we are both in the shop and I recommend him something and tell him where it is. He goes to get it. I hear a lady clearing her throat. I turn around and she asks me where something is. I say I don't know. I then turn around assuming that was the end of that. She then starts ranting about how I need to follow company policy and not pull out my phone when talking to customers. The next thing she did shocked me. She lunged and grabbed my arm. Now the human reaction is to push her off. Now I'm 5 feet 11 and she was around 5 feet 5 at most and she went flying into the PCs. There was a loud alarm that went off. One monitor fell on the floor and it smashed. Security came running to the scene. So did my friend. Now my friend is a little bit scared of confrontation, so he didn't do anything. I think he was more scared than me. She was screaming about how I assaulted her and that I pulled my phone out. She said I worked there. However, the manager shut her down instantly. It was very funny. I think the police got called in the mayhem. They then took both of our stories and started giving me dirty looks. They told me to call my parents, but I refused as I didn't want to drag them into it. But eventually the footage came and it was proven that she grabbed me first and I pushed her off. Eventually I had to give my name, but I was free to leave. The police did contact my parents. The good thing was the manager gave us a 20% discount. So that was good. The next story is entitled Neighbors Think They Are Entitled to Our Swimming Pool. So a little bit of context. My father is really good in stocks and he bought shares in the right places a while back. Later, the stocks blew up, making us rich. We have moved to a good neighborhood, in a house with a pool. My dad bought a Jeep Wrangler and we are well off. Now we have the best house in the neighborhood, one of the 4 which actually have a pool. Right next to ours is a fairly small house, with a very small backyard, and living in it is a family with 3 kids, who are tenants. They are very entitled. The very first day of our pool being filled up, they helped their 3 kids climb up the fence, did the same themselves, and started to use our pool. When me and my twin bro went to the pool, we were shocked to see random people using our pool. We told our parents and the conversation between them went as such. Dad, hello, can you please tell me who allowed you to use the pool? Ed, not knowing that we own this house, oh, we're good friends with the owner. He lets us use it when he isn't around. Dad, oh, I must be mistaken cause as far as I can remember, we own this house. Pulls out the keys. Ed, well, you weren't using this when we got here, so you have to wait now. Dad. Expression saying, is this dude for real? Sir, the door is locked. There is no back door, so you probably climbed the fence, which is trespassing, so I can get you arrested. So before this escalates to that point, I suggest you leave. Ed, well, you have no proof. Dad points to camera, you were saying? Mughh, just let the kids swim, they really want to. Dad, ma'am, there is a community pool nearby. You can go there with your kids. No, there is too many people there. Dad, ma'am, sir, please leave, or we will call the cops. Mughh, fine, we're leaving. We had to clean the pool again, as the kids had wet dirt on their feet and one of the kids peed in the pool. How do we know, you ask? Well, he was standing outside the pool and peed in it. Caught on camera. Seriously unbelievable. The next story is titled Lady Puts Your Hands on Me and Loses Everything. A bit over 10 years ago I tore ligaments in my shoulder, but I couldn't afford to fix it, so just lived with it for 10 years. It was a bit unstable but usually didn't hurt that much until a very rude woman walked up to me demanding I help her. Her attitude was typical of Karen, seen in other stories here. Not realizing she mistook me for an employee, I told her she could go F herself and turned away. The next thing I felt was an excruciating pain in my shoulder, the likes of which I hadn't felt in 10 years. My arm was dislocating and the ligaments, already torn, were ripping apart completely. No, to be fair, if my shoulder had been healthy, It would have handled the pulling the woman was doing to it, and she had no way of knowing my shoulder wasn't healthy. As it turned out, legally speaking, this doesn't matter. I'm not proud of what happened next. Even though everyone I was perfectly justified, I have an almost pathological prohibition against hitting a woman. But the fact my arm was literally being torn off overrode that prohibition, and before I could stop it my fist smashed into her face hard enough to knock out 3 teeth, break her nose and 2 of my fingers. But it did stop her pulling on my arm. Frankly, I was horrified what I had done, but it was all caught on tape, so legally I was defending myself. She ended up being convicted of felony assault with grave bodily harm, got 5 years in prison and lost her very good paying job, as that position could not be held by a convicted felon. Her husband left her, getting full custody of the kids and taking most of the money. That money she had left went mostly to me, paying to have my shoulder fixed. Last I heard she was out of prison, working in a shop. Of course, when she chose to grab me, she had no idea how much damage she was about to do, but as I said, that doesn't matter. If you put your hands on someone, you become fully responsible for any damage you cause, even if you are just aggravating a pre-existing condition. That includes any damage the other person might cause in defending themselves. Frankly, I'm not even mad at her. Sure, she hurt me, but I don't think she deserved to have her entire life utterly destroyed. But as they say, life is rarely fair. The consequences of your choices can be far worse than what you expect and go far beyond what is fair. I really do hope she doesn't have to deal with too many entitled, rude people like herself. The next story is titled That's My Husband, Not a Shuttle Driver. We were on vacation and stopped on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. We were trying to get in line before it got busy. The plan was my husband would drop me and my daughter off to get in line, then go park the rental car and join us. As he lets us off out front, an elderly woman approaches us. I'm a pretty friendly person, so I smiled at her and she started telling me she and her friend were German tourists who were separated from their group. Concerned, I looked around to direct them to the help ticket booth at the falls check-in. Me. Oh, let's get you some help. German. No, he will take us to our hotel. Me. Wait, what? No, he's going to park the car so we can see the falls. This is a private car. German. Just take us to our hotel, waves her friend over and heads towards the car door. Our hotel is just up there, he will take us. Me. Ma'am, this is my husband and our rental car. We just arrived last night and do not know the city. We are here to see the falls too. He is not driving you anywhere. German. How rude, he must. We are not Canadian. Me. Well, we aren't Canadian either. I'm sure security can help you get a taxi or you can call your hotel for their shuttle. German. I have no phone and know that will take too long. I am not paying. You are so rude. We are guests in this country and paying a lot of money for this trip. Me, to my husband, just go now, leave. Me, to her. Ma'am, we too are visiting this country and paying a lot for this trip. We are not driving you anywhere. Good luck. German lady continues to scream how rude and awful we are as we walk away. Random people are now looking at my daughter and I like we did something wrong. I did get security to go check on her. The security guard reported, she had her phone out and calling the hotel for their shuttle. She completely waved him off and said they were fine. The next story is titled Lady Lost Her Mind When I Wouldn't Clean Her Mat. So quick background. I live close enough to my mother that we do this CrossFit class together every Saturday. It's fun and we bond. The class is an hour long and at the beginning we grab mats and weights. We tend to grab a few different types depending on the workout the guy assigns. You have to be early to this class because it's popular and me and my mom grab spots in the back. The class fills up and all the regulars take their spots. There isn't much room but there is space in the front. For the first half hour everything is going well, then this lady comes in. She walks in the center of the room and stares at us, then goes and grabs a mat. I head over to a station on the TRX and begin my set. When I come back I see this lady has pushed my mat into my weights and has made herself a spot. My mom is livid but I wave her off. Don't get me wrong, I am annoyed, but it happens and I continue the class. 5 minutes later our instructor gives us the next set of workouts. I finish my workout on the mat and see there is a free TRX. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a rope you attach to the wall and do different exercises with. As I am pushing through a set someone taps my shoulder. It's this lady. You finished 10. I counted. Stop hogging. First of all, I did not. Secondly, our instructor has us go through the sets twice in a round, so I was planning to go through twice. Thirdly, there was a free on right next to me. I point out the free one and she rolls her eyes and says something snarky about how I wasn't being mindful of costumers. She then demands that I show her how we are doing the workout. I kinda show her my form and then Mike the trainer comes by. She smugly looks at me and is like, "Good, someone is doing their job around here." I just shrug it off and try to finish my set in peace. I go back to my workout and don't have anything with her till the end of class. At the end, our instructor hands out wipes for us to clean the mats before we return them. My mom was returning the weights while I was wiping our mats. As I am wiping my mom's down, a mat is thrown at me and lands on my hands. I am on my hands and knees. I look up and it's this woman again. She is kinda smugly looking down at me, throws down her wipe and then begins to walk away. I get up with her mat and hand it back to her. Me. Excuse me, that's not where you leave them. Her. What? You are cleaning them. You need to clean mine. Me. Yeah, just this one and mine. Her. What makes her special? Me. She is my mom. Her. That doesn't matter, it's your job to clean these. I was kinda floored at the idea I worked there. Only because I am working on losing weight. I am not obese, but I certainly don't have a trainer's body. Me. I don't work here. Her. Stop being bratty, it's clear you work here. Me. What? Her. You clearly work here, I can see your uniform. Plus you were helping that woman the whole time. For the record, the supposed uniform was black leggings and a black tank. And there wasn't one. Me. Picking up my mat and my mom's, I do not work here. Leave me alone. She then begins screaming the intruster's name and he comes up. With my mom right behind him. She has seen some of the stuff and was pretty much over this lady's crap. Mike on the other hand has no idea, he can tell from my face that I am annoyed. Mike. What's going on? Her. You need to fire this woman. She is refusing to clean my mat and spent the whole lesson ignoring me. Mike, who at this point understands my annoyance. She doesn't work here, but I can clean your mat. I also should tell you that we don't clean mats in the future. At this point the lady huffs out and marches downstairs. I think that's the end of it till my mother and I go down and see this woman screaming at the front desk. She sees me and then points. Her, get that brat fired, she used brat way too much. The front desk guy is this pretty innocent kid. Probably in high school. She doesn't work here, ma'am. At this point her face is as red as it gets. She screams and then walks out. My mom made us wait inside till she left the parking lot. Probably for the best. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.